And about herself, she was born in 1981 to Cuban parents in Miami, where she was the first of her family to be born in the United States, and she was also the first to go to college, but we'll talk more about that later. She graduated in English, I think summa cum laude, is that right? At Cornell University. She has worked as a counselor to high school seniors as well as assistant professor of creative writing at Florida State University. She left Miami actually in 1999, lived in LA. Now she's living again quite close to Miami, quite only 6 hours away.
Close for us.
That's American dimensions.
Yeah.
And currently, of course, she's Picador professor at the Institute for American Studies at our university here. And we are glad to have you here tonight. Welcome, Jennine, Capó, Crucet.
Thank you for seeing us. The church is quiet except for the nuns' approaching footsteps. You can imagine the sounds of the soft soles of her shoes scuffing down the center aisle, coming toward the last pew, barely growing louder as they approach. Or you could imagine that someone has just finished playing an organ, practicing before the morning mass, the notes echoing off the high ceilings and moving into silence. You could imagine the church's entire frame rattling from the distant boom of the bass beat at a nearby dance club. Any of these will work fine. Hidden in the candlelight of hundreds of prayers sits Jennine, whose face seems solemn, though she didn't bother to cross herself or kneel. Her halter top is bluish silver, hanging from her neck and made of a material that ripples like a bothered puddle when she breathes. The blouse is dark under her arms, and her hair sticks to her still damp forehead. You decide she must have come straight from Shadow Lounge. She still wears a paper wristband, and she winces when she swallows. She closes her eyes as if to hear the bass left over from a dance floor. She traces an imaginary line up and down the length of her arm and frowns. The only thing left to decide about her night up to this moment, acid or ecstasy.
I enjoyed the reading quite well. The conversation was very fulfilling. I especially enjoyed the kind of juxtaposition between sort of like the background of the stories and the actual short story and the snippet from the novel. And it's the first time I ever came across anything from Jennine, and I really enjoyed. She has a very captivating way of writing, humorous. At times, it just brings you in, and I think I'm gonna go out and buy her book, How to Leave Hialeah, and gonna be waiting patiently for the new novel.
It was great to see Jennine in a different setup than I usually see her in, and she didn't disappoint. It made me want to read the rest of the book so much more than I already want to read it, and it was great to see that she can't only do humor, but she can also do very, very different settings in the new book. So I think it's so great to have her as a Picador professor here, and it was great to see this side of her tonight. She was so incredibly open and versatile, and I think we can expect a lot more from her in the future, and it's great to have her here.
I thought it fit in nicely with questions we have been discussing all day, and therefore it was very interesting to be, and we are glad to be able to integrate this talk into a conference that Technische Universität Dresden and the American Studies Institute at the University of Leipzig are organizing this week on selling ethnicity and race, on questions of ethnic commoditization. So what we've been talking about all day is how you get how you deal with expectations on ethnicity and how ethnic identity is used in the marketplace and how the market reacts to developing ethnic identities. And some of those questions totally fit in what Jennine and Capó Crucet discussed today, questions of what you would expect from a Latino writer to talk about, and I think that totally could have been part of, or we are glad it was part of this conference, and it is a perfect, it rounds up the day perfectly, so we're glad this worked out.
This was a fantastic reading. First of all, I really like reading sitting down. It takes all the stress off your legs. That's really nice, so you can concentrate on the delivery, which is great. No, this is wonderful. The Q&A, the crowd was really responsive. Yeah, I had a fantastic time, and it was really fun. I love Leipzig. Everyone keeps saying that it's Berlin 10 years ago. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy, it's weird, it feels like a very small city, but then there's so much going on, and so you feel like you're in the center of it all, and that you're really part of a small community that's actually super robust and really full of amazing things happening. I passed like 4 museums on the way home, and you know, there's like half a museum in my hometown back in Florida, so it's wonderful. It's been a really wonderful experience being here.